Hello and welcome to another video on SQL, and in today's video we are going to discuss select statement, and in the select statement we are going to focus on group by, and then we will also see how can we use having along with the group by. So let's jump onto the SQL server. I have already started my SQL server and I am using SQL Server Management Studio to run queries on SQL Server. So I am already have opened my database, and Learn SQL is the database which we are using. And if you are following me in this series using the previous videos, you might have seen how we created all these and how we bought these tables. So I have started a new query by clicking on the new query here, and today we are going to write down the SQL statement. So I have a sales table which basically, let me show you the select 1000 rows, and this sales table has item ID, and to join with that I have item table, and item table contains item name, brand name, category ID and subcategory ID. So let me close this. Then it has customer ID. I have a customer table to connect using the customer ID, and let's look at the customer data also. It contains age, city ID, city, name, state and name of the customer. Okay, so we can get the customer information. Let's close this one also. Then we have a sales table also contains city ID, and city ID can be used to join with geography, and the geography table contains city ID, city and state. So now using these information, we are going to write down certain queries. So first query which we like to write down, how is my item sales is ongoing. So for that, what I need to do is I need to group the data of item table on the name, and I need to give the sum of quantity. So we will say select item, and for that we need to have first of all perform our join from sales as S, inner join item as I, and I have already explained you all these joins in my previous video. So if you have not watched that, please watch that first. S dot item ID, parenthesis is optional, s dot item ID equals to I dot item ID. Okay, now what I need I dot name, and I need sum of s dot quantity. See, because if I simply take it, let's start with simply taking by s dot quantity. So what would happen in this case? If I simply take I dot name and s dot quantity, I need to take a comma here. So it's not going to show, it's going to show me 30,000 rows. Ideally speaking, I have 55 items, so I'm expecting only 55 rows. Okay, so how do I get that? Okay, how do I get only 55 rows? So for that we need to group the data by item. Grouping means the data will get the distinct value of the name, and the second values has to either sum, min, max. They need to add by some aggregation. So on one column we will say group, and another column we will use aggregation. We can have more than one group by grouping columns, means the column for which we are going to take distinct, and we can also have more than one column where we are going to use aggregation. So here what we are going to do is simple thing. We are going to say I dot item comma sum dot sales quantity, and we can rename it, and we can call it quantity total underscore QTY. That's how we can call it. And once I do that, if I simply run it, is going to give me error in most of the databases. In MySQL, it might not give you error, it might give you the result, because we have to write down group by I dot item. And if you are using any alias here, let's say you call it item underscore name, that you don't have to use in group by. Okay, you don't have to use aliases in group by, you simply have to give group by. It means these column I have to group. So the column which are not part of the group by, they can come simply. The column which are not part of the group by, they have to come with some aggregation, and column which are part of the group by has to come like this without any aggregation. So those who are in group by will come without aggregation, and those who are not part of the group by will come with some aggregation. So what we are asking here, sum, and it is saying item because it's not the item, it's name. The column name is name. So select I dot name, item name, sum quantity, total quantity from sales as S, inner join item as I, on item ID equals to item ID group by I dot name. So the same name has come, the group by has performed. Now, can I only take sum? So when I'm doing sum, it is going to give me the sum of quantity. But what happens if I simply give a sum here? I don't give item. So if I don't give item here and still have group by, you will see so many rows because item data is still getting grouped by item. Okay. Then next thing which I can do here is basically I can even remove this one, and then I simply take this sum of sales and item join. So based on the inner join, if something is getting missed, that will miss out and we will get sum of quantity. We could actually also run same thing like this and we'll get sum of quantity. So in this case, we don't need group by because only one column is coming in that is getting grouped by, getting aggregated. Even if there are more than one column, all of them getting aggregated, we don't need group by. Only when there are certain aggregated column and there are some non-aggregated column, then we need group by. So now we learned that, but now do I need quantity or do I need more than that? So what happens is, let's bring in this query back, copy and paste it. I actually, not this one, let's take this one. I don't need this sum of quantity only. I actually need sum of quantity into price. What I need basically the net, the gross sales. Now what should I individually do, sum and multiply, or should I multiply and then do sum? So in case of multiplication, we should always multiply and then do the sum. So that's the thumb rule. Multiplication should always be done before, division should always be done after. So if it would have been division, I would have said sum of quantity divide by sum of price. But in case of multiplication, I'll say sum of QTY multiply by sum of price. And to understand this difference, let's look at three columns. I say sum of quantity Q1. So let's call it QTY1, comma, sum of price S dot price, let's say P1, and take this one. P2, QT, net 2. Okay, and let's run this. Somewhere we have some problem. And to have for better understanding, what we can do, we can create columns like this. So and even we can press tab. Okay, so we can understand this SQL well. Indentation if we do. And let me press it connect again. Okay, so now when you look at here, this number is still making sense. This is simpler product of these two, but this is not the such a big number what we have. Actually, this is our correct number. So always multiplication, and even if when you calculate yourself, you will find out that this number is correct. And this is the reason why we do the multiplication first. The number is going to first multiply and then we are going to add it up, because sum of S dot quantity multiply by S dot price means when they are aggregating together is not equal to going to be equal to this. So you can see these numbers are not equal and this number is pretty big and this is also not the correct number. So now we know how can we group the data. Now after I group the data, can I group it using multiple group bys? So can I also get, so from item table, can I say item and brand? So let's take only net now, gross sales basically. Can I have item and brand? Yes, we can have item and brand. And so I can say item dot brand, and I can also have here item dot brand. Here also I can have it like this. Also here, let's do a little bit of indentation to understand this better. Okay, now what is the error it is giving? Item brand could not be found. So maybe in item table the name is not brand. Name is item name, item brand, name. And to check if this kind of error come, what we do is, so we have to take I, and let's try this out. Now it is correct. So it's not taking the table name once you have given alias. Some database can take both, and other databases may not take the table name once you have given the alias name. So now we are getting data. Now what is happening? Data is grouping by item as well as brand. Now one item may not have more than one brand, so you might end up getting 55 rows. So the reason why we are only getting 55 rows, because each item has that many brands. But yes, definitely when I try like brand, only brand, I remove this, I remove this, I remove this also, and the parenthesis. Now when I run this, select I dot brand, sum of quantity dot at dot price gross sales from sales, inner join item as I on is dot item ID equal to item ID and group by item ID. So I only get 13 records, but let's add the category also. Now category and brand are not something like every brand is doesn't having every category. So I dot brand, enter comma I dot category, and we copy this and we paste it here. So I get it. Now can I get it across tables? Across table means, let's say I want to get brand from here and I want to get city from geography or state from geography. So what I need to do is I need to perform one more inner join. So enter inner join geography on g dot city underscore id equals to s dot city id. And right now it is not necessary. If I added it in join, then I need to have it in join. Okay, still going to work it, and that's inner join, so that is not going to we have pretty good data which can join on inner join, and it's not going to change the numbers. Okay, there's no Cartesian which is happening. Now I can have, then I can have here, because my joins are one too many, because the geography table is having only one record for the city and all those are matching with the sales table. Now I can say g dot city, and I can also add this into group by. So select I dot brand comma g dot city id, sum s dot quantity multiplied by price is gross sales from sales as s, inner join item as I on s dot item id equals to I dot item id, inner join geography g on g dot city id equal to s dot city id. So what I'm getting now, my item wise, brand wise, item brand wise, city wise sales. So what is my sales right now here? So I am getting brand wise, city wise sales. Okay, now what happened if you say, okay, sort it? How do I want to sort it? I want to sort it by top, order by. Now do I need to now write down that? In such cases, when I have some complex calculation, I can write down the final column number 1, 2, 3. I can write down 3. And sales we will also like to see highest on the top. So order by descending, order by 3 descending. So I get the highest sales. Now you can say I have the sales in terms of 30,000, 30,000, 30,000. Let's say I want to see the brand city combination where I have sales less than, let's say, 10,000. Are there some cities brand combination where my sales is less than 10,000? Now when I wanted to do that, I actually need to filter this grouped data. And to filter this group data, there is an easy option available where we can go ahead and say having. So I am doing something, everything same, having, not the where clause. It's having this formula greater, less than 10,000. Okay. So having less than 10,000. In that one, let's say you wanted to know, I just wanted to know this for brand 11. Now brand 11, I don't need to put it having. I can put it into the where clause. So I can say where I dot brand equals to single quote brand 11. So what I'm getting right now, I'm getting brand city gross sales of brand 11 and all the sales which is less than 10,000 for brand 11. So for the brand 11 where the gross sales is less than 10,000, I'm getting it. Now I'll ask you a very interesting problem. Now I have quantities which is typically 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So let's do select, and this is what we have not done, distinct. I want to bring out the distinct quantities from the sales table. QTY, distinct quantity from sales. I want to know what are the distinct quantity available in the sales table. Okay. And then we can say order by QTY DESC, descending sort. So 1, 2 and 3. So what I want first thing I want is only sum those quantity which is greater than 1. And after that, give me the cities which is greater than 10,000. Okay. So I want city wise quantity, sum of quantity. Don't consider any quantity which is 1. It should be greater than 1. And once the city wise total is available, then that total quantity, and because quantity is let's say total gross sales should be greater than 10,000. Okay. So what I wanted to do here, let's contribute. So I wanted something from sales and geography table. So I will bring in first of all my sales and geography table join. So from sales, I don't need item join. From sales as inner join geography on g.city id equal to this one. Then what was my where condition? My where condition was s dot quantity should be greater than 1, because it is not saying sum of quantity. The problem is the quantity should be greater than 1 before we sum it up. Then we should say s select g.city comma the gross sale, which is nothing but sum of quantity net price. Okay. So now I'm not going to put second condition. I'm just going to say group by and see that what result it is returning. Group by city. Now the second condition is still pending. So we say in the city give us the gross price where the quantity 1 is not considered. All the quantities greater than 1 is considered. Now in such a scenario, let's order by and see do we have some city which is less than 10,000. Order by which to ASC. I want to say minimum value first of all, because that's what the filter is. So there is no city. So all the cities is come. So let's change our condition to have only the city which is greater than 50,000. So cities should not be less than 50,000. So we will say then here having the same formula is greater than or equal to 50,000. Less than 50,000 we don't want. So all the cities where. So now one of the data has been filtered by where clause at the row level. So all the rows for which is having quantity less than 1 has been removed. After that we have summed up the data. The only quantity 2 and quantity 3 rows has been summed up, and post that when we sum up the data, in that data also the data which is greater than quantity 1, only those rows when we summed up, now we are giving those rows, those cities where it is greater than 50,000, and let's order it by, and what we have done, I think we just changed it. So let's have it without this one, and let's say order by 1, sorry, order by 2 DESC, and here also we add it order by 2 DESC, descending. So what we are getting right now is we are getting city wise sales where the quantity, the row level quantity is greater than 1, and the city level quantity means the after the aggregation the quantity is greater than 1. So when somebody says city level quantity, it means the data which is grouped at the city level. When somebody says simply quantity greater than 1, it means the quantity at the row level. Otherwise we can ask for specific thing. Now, so what happens, these kind of queries, group by queries, whenever we look data in business intelligence tool, especially we looked at the group data. So there are a lot of things which we can do with this group data. So we have just started this journey where we are going to create complex and more complex conditions. We are going to come up with more and more use cases and are going to learn that. So go ahead and try these things out. Do let me know what else you want me to cover in this particular series. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you. Keep watching, keep asking questions in comments, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you can get notification for new videos. Thank you.